Does anyone know why I finished my intro music with the most hype cinematic intro music possible when I'm just doing like freelancer modding today? Because I don't know why I did that, so. Hi. Main screen turn on. Hey, Pixel's a big old model now. Welcome to my addiction because I've been doing this kind of modding for ages, Pixel. Like OVA is a big one a while back, but before that, just fiddling. I like to fiddle around. I like to tweak and toy. And tease the code. You didn't realize? No, yeah, like OVA and stuff like that. I'm not like a modder. I can't code. I can't code. I can't write in languages and things like that. But I can do ionize. I can expose. I can work with exposed variables. So welcome to the Freelancer and Freelancer modding stream. One of the great things about Freelancer. And Blue Nurse says and sing. Well, I don't know if I can do that very well, but no, I haven't done my C-Pound homework. But I do. I was talking about the channel about it the other day, Parker Boy. I am. The offer is still sharply in my mind. My C-Pound homework, sharply in my mind. I do want to do it at some point. But Pixel says you probably learn it. Programming looks more intimidating than it really is. Yeah, well, exactly. Like Parker is saying about the C-Pound homework that was so graciously offered. I should do it. But for now, for today, I can't. And one of the really awesome things about Freelancer, at least this install of Freelancer that we have, is almost everything in it is exposed. Everything that already exists in it, almost everything is like exposed to ionize. It's amazing. Well, a lot of stuff is exposed to config files, which is fucking rad. So it's why I originally started modding this game. Pixel says if you ever want some guidance on programming and mods and stuff, you're welcome to me out. Thank you. I probably will. Thank you, Pixel. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I probably will. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know, this is like years back. I think 2020 was the first time I streamed this game in my little B-mod. Domfy says, oh my god, it's been such a long time since I've seen this game, thanks to the memories. Well, we haven't even started yet, but yeah, I love this game. I've been doing like this... I haven't been working on this mod since 2020. I did like a bunch of it in 2020 for a few months, and I basically stopped until recently again. But the reason I want to mod this game, and I love this game, is I love this game. Like, I don't think there's ever been a better space game. Like, this is a very nostalgic game for some people. Because this game is like from 2003, I want to say, not 2001. I want to say it's from 2003, but it might be 2001. I think it's 3 though. It's really fucking old. But honestly, it's still the original and the best for me. Still waiting on them fast people. I know, PG Tips, I know, I'm sorry. You got lied and scammed too on that. So keep Bex coming for now, PG, but you're probably first going to get access to this when we release it. But hopefully by next month, because next month there's going to be some cool community freelancer streams going on that we want to have like something more show-offable and playable ready then. Domfy says Freelancer and Discovery mod could eat your whole day. Yes. So Discovery mod was the big mod that I got into. I was all about Disco. I loved it. For like a few years, I played Discovery mod and I loved it. And it really showed me what this game could be as a multiplayer game, as a modded game. The base game is great, but modded, not everything about Disco is perfect. I'd be going and playing it now. You know, I don't actually love a lot of stuff about it in the end. But Discovery Freelancer RP server 24/7 mod for me was insane because it was this living, breathing universe with dozens and dozens and dozens of different star systems that you could go between, all these different factions, all these different players, and it worked. It seriously did work. It was, you know, the servers back in the day had like, you could get up to 200 players on at once. It was so good. K. Jackson says, hey, to Predator Stars is in the last finished Chris Roberts game. Exactly. And that's really the thing, because I was playing this back in 2010. And then it turned straight into, I've said this many times, straight into Star Citizen. You know, it was like, I was playing Discovery Freelancer when Chris Roberts first announced his, like, golden ticket thing. For like, ooh, be there for the presentation of Chris Roberts' next big dream or whatever. And at the time, I was losing my shit. I was like, oh my god. I didn't know who he was, except people around the Discovery Freelancer community were like, no, that's the guy who made this game. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna make Freelancer too! And And then, of course, you know, my opinions on Star Citizen, it's just a big waste of time. It's a game that has so much work and effort and money poured into it, but at the end of the day, like, it's not fun. Like, it's like a monument to itself, but I don't think the game itself has ever been more fun, Star Citizen, than the first time I played the dogfighting module, and it's just got worse ever since, because it's this weird game about, like, being more realistic and, like, complex, and it's about being enjoyable. And so, really, that's why in 2020, and then again now, that's why I've always come back to Freelancer, because I honestly believe this is, without a word of hyperbole, and you know, some nostalgia for me of this game, not caring, and I don't feel like this game is dated to me at all. I feel like this game is still very, very at the forefront of space games, because I don't think there's ever been a better space game. And some element of nostalgia is probably subconsciously doing the heavy lifting for me there, some element I'm not aware of. But I do personally feel like this game's mechanics and the way it works, and what I got to see with it at its peak, with like those 200-player servers, basically a proto-MMO, Star Citizen, like someone said, a proto-Star Citizen, basically. I loved it, and I just want it more. Pixel says I invest my energy like I invest money. It's a very cautious thing. Oh, you talking about Star Citizen? Yeah, like, well, you say it will never be done. See, I think Star Citizen's already done, it's just in early access. And, yeah, exactly, K3 Jackson. Freelancer, this game almost got Star Citizen 2, but Microsoft stepped in and wrapped up production to force him to finish. Otherwise, he'd probably still be working at Freelancer, yeah. And it's good that he didn't, because at the time, when I didn't know better, I was like, oh, those Microsoft fuckers, they stopped him from making Freelancer the best game ever. But now I see, like, no, Freelancer is good because they stopped him. They stepped in and stopped him. So that's why I'm modding it still today, because I want to play a good space game. I was really burned by Star Citizen. I've tried countless times to get into it and enjoy it. I've had some measurements of fun throughout the years, but I could never truly get much satisfaction out of it. Despite really wanting to, despite investing in the game, never could. So here I am back at Freelancer, because this game's never let me down. This game's always been amazing. The single-player campaign is such a blast. The vanilla game is such a blast. Multiplayer for it's been amazing. And then there's so much modding. There's so much modding for this game. There's such like a... I know it's smaller now, but I feel like there's still such a vibrant community for this game, even in whoever's left, whoever hasn't moved on from this game at this point. They recently celebrated their 20th anniversary streams for Freelancer, which apparently don't, so we're going to keep doing more of them. And that's one of the streams we want to get this mod in good shape for next month, for April, is we want to be able to be one of the mods that gets shown off in their ongoing streams now for the community. We want to like... We want to make this an MP mod, you know, this is an MP mod. We want to get people to be interested in playing it and follow its development. But, Casey Jackson says, yeah, SP campaign is like a classic late 80s, early 90s space opera adventure. Yeah, it's so good, and I just love the combat of this game. I know I've been telling you guys this a lot in my after-stream specials of this game and modding it a little bit, but like, I'm kind of doing it again here, because I think this is the first time, at least since 2020, one or two, I think this is one of the first times like I've actually just had a full stream up, and I'm like, we're just going to do Freelancer today. But I've been fucking loving it. I don't love this encounter I've set up right now to test, because it's got the hard freighter on it. I'm just going to run away from it because I'm scared. So I'm not going to show you the... Well, I can show you a little bit of combat as a trait. But anyway, I'm just going to get into it, basically. I'm actually going to change this around back to the fighter encounter today, because I got to figure out what I want to do today. I've got like a short list of stuff I want to work on. You can see some new effects I wanted to show off, though. Eric's been doing all the work on this for the last couple of weeks. You can see all the effects of the, he's twerked up the long-range missile effects on the freighter. Oh god, fuck. You can kind of see them going off like ballistic missiles, like cruise missiles off in the distance now with oh shit, big trails! He's also added, I haven't heard this before, I'm gonna turn the music off, listen. He's added like a flyby projectile effect to the missiles, you can hear it whoosh past. That's cool. Ah, that's cool! Big, thick trails, too. That's awesome. Last time I haven't really even had time to test his changes much lately, because I work on this with my friend Milo, who is great at this stuff, and he does know a bit of programming, I think, and he's very good at the technical side, and he's really good at the effects and model, or not model, but effects and stuff. He's been a wizard helping me with this. He's more technically apt than I am, and together we've been working on this as kind of like a two-man. Man, how cool does that look? It reminds me of Ace Combat or Wingman now. With all like the long-lasting, thick trails. It says seeing you so enthusiastic and passionate makes me smile. I love this game, and I really, really love working on it, honestly. Like, I really enjoy modding this game. It's really easy, like, and low barrier entry to do. Whoa! Because of, because of the INIs being exposed and because of help from Urk. You can really just kind of like, I can just make my dreams reality very quickly with some INI editing in this game. And it's also like in a subject matter that I find really interesting. It's like a Venn diagram of subject matters I find really interesting because it's between space combat, like Star Citizen, space opera, space MMO kind of stuff. It's multiplayer, which I love. It's and also the way I'm doing this mod is like Ace Combat and Project Wingman. It's that Project Ace's kind of like fighter gameplay that I love. So it's like a real like passion project for me, absolutely. That's why I want to keep doing this. I love this game. I love the potential of more to come. I love what it is already. And yeah, it's like fucking exciting. I love working on this. It's super fun. So that's why I want to do a stream of modding it, because I just honestly haven't been getting much time to work on it lately, off stream, because my off stream is pretty busy, honestly. So I just wanted to work on it on the stream instead. As I like fly around, I'll like try to dodge these missiles and not really engage while I talk to you. Yeah, I love it, Pixel. I love exposed INIs in any game. It's the only reason I was able to mod XCOM 2 as well, because it has exposed INIs. And it really opens the door to, like, just users like me who aren't programmers or coders to make your own experiences, like OVA and like this. It's so fucking awesome. Donkey says, don't make me reinstall this game, man. I'm definitely planning to make you reinstall this game. So... oh shit, I love every time that happens, every time you just barely dodge a missile. I love like the balancing, like it's such a balancing fiesta for me, this modding effort. It's one of my favorite things to do is like balance stuff and get stuff feeling really good. And I love the satisfaction of like, you know, it's very fun process for me, like having a missile and it hitting me too much and being like feeling it out, like that doesn't feel quite right. Tweaking the agility down on the missile a little bit, tweaking the mass, tweaking the motor power, and you find that special little moment where everything just clicks, and now you're able to like consistently play the way you intuitively feel like you want to. Like now I can dodge those missiles just as they're coming in really cinematically, and it all just comes together. It feels great. I love it. That's why I love working on this for a lot of reasons. It's a super like feeling based. It's great. I love it. Yeah, I agree, Pixel. I love the number and logic tweaking. It feels amazing. I love it. I love to balance. And that's why I love working on OVA and stuff too, because I love the feeling of balancing. You know, like the XCOM style gameplay too. It's so fun. So today I'm just alt-tabbing and looking at my notebook. I've got a lot more for you guys to look at today. Because I figured if I was going to actually mod the game today, like do a stream of it and maybe do more in the future to get some work done on this mod, because I've been dragging my feet on it for weeks now. I need to show you. I can't just stop showing you what I'm doing when I alt-tab. So for one, I've got my Notepad Plus here, which is the main way we're going to be editing any files I need to edit today. So you really actually see me do it today, whereas before I haven't, bothered showing you that, really. So I've got that there. And then I also have our balancing spreadsheet, which is like our big magic spreadsheet we use, where we plug all of our things in. I've got to do a bit of upkeep. I've been a bit lazy. Like there's a few entries here that are outdated, so I have to double check everything I do today. But generally, it's just this really useful spreadsheet we've got, where we've got all our stats for bookkeeping purposes, and for implementing, from the spreadsheet into game and vice versa, tweaking things, see everything at a glance. Also really useful because it's got references of some IDs we need to check quickly, like, if I want to put power plants and ships and stuff like that. And other useful things, like it's got, because in Google Sheets you can do like math and stuff, of course, like in an Excel. It also allows us to have, I forget how I even made this, I'm glad I did, but like calculators like this, where I can like for example, if I want to change like the turning rate of a ship or something, like it's not just like turn rate, like in the INIs, it's like it's kind of complex under the hood. Like ships have, as you can see here, I'm relearning all this from 2020 me. You've got a engine force value, engine drag, ship drag, steering torque, 3 different values, angular drag, 3 different values, 3 different rotational inertia values, engine force drag, ship drag, like all this shit, right? Mass, speed, thruster, tons and tons of different variables, and they like all go together to actually turn into what I basically summed up here as loop rate. I basically summed up here as how quickly I can do a full barrel roll. And you can, by default in this game, it's not made to be a rolling like jet game. Like you don't have to like pitch up to get the best turn rate or anything. You can do that with this game if you want to, though. I should put the music back on, sorry. You can totally do that with this game if you want to, though. Like, you can totally, at least as I remember correctly, set it up so that like your pitch up and down off your nose is more agile than turning left and right. By default, I don't really want to do that with this mod, though, because, you know, why? Let me just minimize that again. Because honestly, I think one of the biggest strengths of Freelancer is that it is not overcomplicated nonsense. It is just a very intuitive feeling game to play. Let me just jump away for a second. From them with my cheat commands. It's a very fucking intuitive game. It's a game where nothing, like, makes sense if you want to be a nerd about it. Like, why can I fly around, you know, fly over to planet Denver over here, right? Jump. You know, why can I just, like, fly around an entire planet full of people in, you know, a minute's rotation, right? Sure, if you want to be, like, a nerd about it, that doesn't make any sense, sure. But if you don't go to that level, at least for me, I find this game works really fucking well in that sense. Like, if you just go, fuck it, I don't really give a shit about, like, that, the game just feels right. Like, why can you do that? I don't know, but it feels good in the gameplay, that you don't have to then do the Star Citizen thing of, like, oh, I've got to do this whole, like, warp process to get anywhere. You know, for me to get to anything interesting, I've just got to warp between everything. And it makes things feel really disconnected for me in Star Citizen. What I love about this game is that because, you know, the sizes are kind of condensed in that way, like, from here, you know, across the sector is, what? 150 Ks, 150 kilometers, right? Obviously, if you're doing, like, a realistic bunch of shit, maybe that's nonsense. But I like it here because it's just fun. Like, rather than being like Star Citizen, where everything feels disconnected, this is great because you can actually fly around and the place feels like an area you can explore. You know, you can hit these trade lanes to get a little bit more speed boost. You know, get a little speed boost over here, and I can just hop away from planet Denver, and I'm never, like, going into, like, some kind of warp loading screen, you know? Like, I can be pirated out of trade lanes right now, I can fly past shit going on and decide I'm just gonna get out and go see what it is. I can get out at any point. You know, I can still see where I came from, you've still got that sense of, like, the system at large. And it's like a place you can actually explore. And fight around in, and I love that for a multiplayer game too, because you can meet people, you know? In single player, just against NPCs, you can run into interesting encounters, sure. But also in multiplayer, it's critical because then you can go around and meet people. Like, so it's more like, unlike Star Citizen's, like, realistically sized, you know, scientific approach, this is like a traditional MMO, like, area, you know? Yeah, exactly, K. Jackson. Like I was trying to say, it's like an open world MMO. Exactly, and I love that. I've said a lot on stream how much I loved playing vanilla World of Warcraft because I love the social aspect of it. I love that feeling of community, like going around and actually meeting people and having meaningful encounters with them. You know, hostile or friendly or neutral and weird. As Bounty says, many times realism is not equal to fun in video games. Yeah, and this is what I said last time. Freelancer is what I always say. Freelancer is Star Citizen is like going for that modern obsession with realism above all. Like we're impressive because our marketing thing is we have the most. They've got the cruise missiles. We have the most realistic implementation. So real scientists did this. Da, da, da. I prefer games like this. I prefer in general like realism has its place, but for me it's more about immersion. Is what I've always said about this kind of thing. I want to be immersed. But immersion doesn't necessarily mean something realistic, it means you feel immersed in it, you feel like it's real to you. And I love Freelancer's approach for that, it's incredibly arcadey in that sense. But to me, it's a much more, like, real-feeling space world to be in than Star Citizen's ever been for me. So yeah. Anyway, I should stop, like, just opining and talking about Freelancer. I should start doing what I do today is actually work on it. So, I don't know if what I'm going to do today is very exciting for you guys, but we'll see. I want to swap out some weapons onto these Xenos fighters that I'm testing against, and make sure they feel good and balanced to fight against. I need to do MP testing for this eventually, because everything's different in MP, and it's going to be a bit of a headache, because like some things won't feel as good, but for today I'm just sticking to single player, pretty much for that reason, because I haven't set that up yet, and I want to just work on some more numbers today before I tackle all of that. So, what I want to do... I want to change this encounter in this field, so I'm going to fly... Load again? I want to do what we did last time, I want to fly to the edge of the field, because I think fighting on the edge of the field is easier for the AI. So it's a better, like, test for me of their combat power. I'm just gonna, like, do a save.
Objective reached.
Right here. And then, on my docket list today, the first... I'm just gonna do one thing at a time so I don't get paralyzed with doing things, I think. The first thing I want to do is set Xenos loadouts to Xenos weapons and balance them. But what I want to do before that, actually, is I want to... change the encounter here. So I need to go to... basically what I'm going to do now is change what spawns here so we can fight it. So I'm going to go to the system. This is Liberty System 3, Colorado. And I'm going to go to... This is the Alamosa field that I'm in. I'm pretty sure. I'll just double check. I'm pretty sure this is what I've been working with. Yeah, this is Alamosa. This one is Silverton. So... I might be a bit sluggish and slow when I do this, because I learned a bunch of this in 2020, and I forgot it all 3 years later. So I'm kind of like learning and relearning, and even back then I was still learning, but I'm learning and relearning a lot of stuff, so you're going to see a lot of me figuring stuff out. But we need to go to... Where is the encounter? The encounter is B-mod area upgun freighters. So that's why we're fighting the Independence freighter and the 2 escorts, right here. So what I actually want to do is... put this into just like a generic test encounter. So I'm going to go to my files. You can't see my file explorer. I'm not going to show you that, but I'm going into Freelancer escalation, data. Where is this? I got to find encounters again. It's systems. No. Yes. Yes. Universe folder. Systems. It's not that. Where are encounters? Maybe it's in the ships folder. No. I can actually just look up the top of my file thing here. It's in data missions. Freelancer data missions encounters. Okay. I go in the encounters folder, and then I think I've already set up a test one, haven't I? No, I have not. But I'm gonna set one up now, haven't I? B-mod. B-mod area platforms, B-mod area roll and engagement, B-mod area static engagement, B-mod area upgun freighters. No, so I'm gonna make a new one, I guess. See if this blows everything up. I'll have to restart the game for this, of course. But it boots incredibly quickly, so it's not a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to copy upgun freighters. I'm going to open that in a second so you can see it, but hang on. We're going to call it B-mod test encounter 1. I'm going to edit that now so you can see it. Okay. So... before I forget everything else, I want to add this to the area, which is, where is it? Liberty R3. So first of all, we're going to just change this out to be B-mod test encounter 1. And then there's another thing we have to do. At the top, there's a lot of like little rules that if you don't follow, it makes the game just fucking crash when you do this stuff. Eric's really the person who teaches me all of them. So we need to go up to the top of the system file, and any encounter that's going to be called has to be, like, predefined up here. So, you know what, I'm going to copy-paste it, because last time I did this, I typed in this as encounter parameters, and then made Eric and me spend 30 minutes debugging why it wasn't working, and it was the worst. So I'm just going to copy it. Just to make sure I don't fuck it up. Ludwig says, you know what makes space travel quicker? More space lanes. That's right, we need to build more space lanes. That's my political platform. So the encounter nickname is bmod test encounter 1, and the file name is this too. Pixel says, you know, I do wonder if I could, if one could make a full persona out of modding games. Probably. I mean, Doug kind of does a similar thing very cleverly. Yeah, encounter Parmesan, basically. So, back down to Alamosa, sorry. Yeah, back down to Alamosa Field. And now if I quit... Hang on, let me minimize that. Now if I quit and restart, and the game doesn't crash, we should be good to adjust the encounter. I'm just going to be extra careful today and do that in order. So I'm going to load it back up. Was someone making mods for Freelancer? What will your mod do? Says Squirrel Nutty. Hello, I'm going to make a moodbot command for this. I would say the quickest sum up for like my focus with this mod is like multiplayer modern air combat essentially. Like Project Ace's Ace Combat style gameplay. Just better, more modern fighter combat. And then also going for like more modern like gameplay loops, like more shit to do in the multiplayer environment. It's kind of hard to say. I should write like a proper summary of it. But basically just trying to modernize things a bit. Just making the game I want to play essentially with fighter combat. Okay, so the game didn't crash. Didn't load anything over there, so let's just check again. I want to get them to load. I might be a bit too far out into the field. Let's go back in. It's like 1,000. There they are. Okay, so that loads, that's great. So now that they're loading fine, I'll just leave that up for a second so you got something in the background while we go back into our notepad. So now that that's working, our test encounter is working, go back to the test encounter, and now we're going to set up the test encounter. So right now, this is the copy-paste of the Upgun Freighters engagement, which means we've made our new classes for the Upgun Freighters, the gunship freighters and stuff. I want to change this into 2 different encounters of fighters. So I'm just going to, like, again, the quickest way I remember things is just steal them from previous work I've done. That's the quickest way I jog my memory. So I go over to this one, static engagement I've done. This is like a big, complex encounter that has a suite of different things going on. They're called, each of these different blocks, each of these different encounter formation blocks is called a permutation. And it goes from permutation 0, you know, in this one I've made up to 7, so, you know, 8 permutations. And they're weighted down here. So this is like a whole spawn file that we're calling for this area. So in this area, the Alamosa field, it will call based off this. So what's happening is, you know, permutation 0, this one up here, we've weighted it with a 22 chance to spawn. 1 and 2 have 22 chance to spawn, and you know, permutation 3 is basically disabled right now, 0 chance to spawn. 4, 5, 6, and 7 then have lower chances to spawn here, 8, 10, 8, 8. And that's basically how we can do these. You can have multiple types of ships spawning in these. So for example, in permutation 1, or permutation 0, I should say, it's only got, I've commented here, it's only got 3 medium fighters. Ship by class, 3 SC fighters. I've already forgotten exactly what these numbers mean. Oh, I think that's min and max, maybe? I've already forgotten. I learned this like 2 weeks ago, I've already forgotten. I haven't done it enough to drill it in yet. But I think that's like min and max. I think that's like, if you put this to 1, then 1 to 3 fighters can spawn. Maybe? We'll find out. Pilot job and make class. These do things, but I'm not sure what they do yet, so I just leave them for the minute. I haven't really learned that much yet. And then we have formation by class fighters. Again, don't really fuck with this too much. Don't fuck with this. Don't fuck with any of this too much. So what I want to do is I want to copy 2 permutations here. Perm 0 and Perm 1. I'm just going to replace these with them. And permutation 0, I'm going to try to create a possible encounter here where 2 to 5 fighters can spawn based on chance. I think. So this will be 2 medium fighters. So I'm going to set that to 2. I guess I could just set it... No, we're going to do it this way. And then permutation 1 will be 3 medium fighters. So I'm going to get rid of the light fighter. Get rid of the light fighter here, which is all of this shit. Okay. And set that to 3. And the reason it works like this... Hang on, I gotta set my weighting to. 1... I'll set it to 2, set it to 1. So the reason it works like this is because this will be spawned multiple times. These are like batches that are spawned, but there'll be multiple spawns. So if we go to the Alamosa field here... I've tried to comment it here so I remember. I should do this more often. I should always comment what I've learned so I can fucking remember. with my shit. I know, Urk sent me up like a wiki too. I should pull that up as well. But for now, I think I can bumble through this. But there's like stuff here like density and shit like that, where basically the higher the density, the more of this can repeat its spawning over and over in like a shorter period of time. I think like it's like the maximum amount of these that can spawn at once. These batches essentially. So if that density and such is set right, then what's going to happen is we'll actually spawn like 2 and 3. We'll see. Let's get in and test it now. We'll actually see. So I need to quit the game again. Load back in and see. Okay, so I've got 3 falcons. 3 falcons, 2 falcons, 1, 2, Okay, so if I want it to spawn more, because every time I load, it rolls a spawn automatically. So what I need to do now is you need to go back and up the density. Because the density is set to 1 because I didn't want more than one freighter spawn this to come. So we're going to go back to density and we're going to set that to... I think we'll try 4 and we'll see if that's too much. That should, I think, in my experience, just be like 2 sets of them. I gotta remember to like not minimize. I've got a special way of minimizing it so it goes off the stream. Pull it up again. It's thank God this game is quick to boot. Like, it makes it really easy to work on. Like, you're in and out so quick. Another advantage of working on an older game. Like, it just runs. Okay, 5, 6, 4, 6, nothing. 5, 4. Okay, so we can see that that's... Oh, that was a 2. So we can see that that's too high. So we'll set that to 2. We're just going to get this... Try and get this working. To the number we want. So let's set that down to 2. Load again. I forgot to minimize it properly again. Load it back up. Games with hot loading capabilities are a blessing from modern game modding. Absolutely Pixel. And I love this game because like it just fucking runs too. Like, again, another thing of not playing modern games like Star Citizen. The game isn't like a laggy mess, it just fucking runs. I think this is too low. Yeah, now we're not going over that many. Okay, so what we're going to do is... I think I see what to do now. Is set this to 3. Go back to the encounters here. And maybe make another perm. I guess I could just do it like this. I could just do like... Make another perm that's just 1 fighter. I have a feeling this is going to help. Perm 2, 1 MF. 1, 1. Again, I could probably do this easier, but I'm not. Because I'm silly. Says permutation 2, 1 wait to spawn. I have a feeling like this is going to be exactly what I want. We'll see. Freelancer, let's now go launch up. Yep. Three, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. Sometimes it's doing 4. I'd like it to do 5 more often. It's not doing what I really want yet. I want it to be able to go up to 5. What did I set the density to before and I didn't like it? I set it to 4, I didn't like it. I could literally just like force it in here, I guess. But I kind of like doing this way better because it's stuffing different building blocks together rather than just rolling one bucket. Hang on a second, tab. Pixel says, I can tell you, thank God RDR2 can hot load without importing the game. Massive blessing. Oh wow, really? That's insane. That's super good. Oh, Jam's just letting me know that Warhammer Gladius is free on Epic Game Store today. That's nice. That's a decent pickup for free. What's happening? I think what's happening is that this density is the limit. So if you have this many ships or... If you have this many ships or more, it won't spawn anymore. So what's happening is if you have 2... What's the mod about? I'm gonna have to make a new book command. Like modernizing the combat, Kalan. Modernizing the combat and gameplay loops. Ace Combat style shit in the combat. Nice to see you. Welcome. I always love to see the Freelancer viewers we get in because, like, a lot of people remember this game. It's great. So I think, yeah, what's happening is density is 3. So it's spawning 2 fighters and then going, oh, that's only 2 fighters. I can spawn another one. And then sometimes it spawns, like... But it doesn't do this. Density 3. But if I set it to density 4, immediately it's too much, right? Let's see. Here, you can spawn that twice. Set 2 fighters to 3. Set 1 fighter to 1 and 3 fighters to 1. Okay, set density to 4 in the spawn field. And let's restart and see what happens. So I just want it to be like 1 to 5 fighters, but like in this particular way I want to do it. That's too many again, it's 6. Okay, 4. 4. 1. Only 1. 4. 5. 4. 6. 3. Okay. Oh god, like 9. So it's doing what I want now, just maybe not at the exact frequencies I want it to, but oh god, the big packs. Scary. So maybe all I have to do now is turn down the frequency of the 3 spawn, and we might be good. Look at the furball, yeah. So now I just open up Notepad again. Density 4, okay, we'll leave it on density 4. And permutation 1 is 3 medium fighters, so let's leave that on 1, but we'll up 2 medium fighters to like 6 weight, 6 percentage basically. And 1 MF to 3. And what happens if I do that? Let's find out! This is how you find out. You do things and you see what happens. Five, 5, 4, 5, 4. Yeah, it's definitely like getting to 3 and then spawning more. Because you're not seeing a lot of 3s or 2s. Which is interesting. I mean, I took away the original 3 spawn, I guess. Enemy target, enemy target. Peaceon says, see, if I was modding, this is where I get distracted for 2 hours mapping out what the statistical distribution ends up being, so then I could figure out how to exactly define the percent of time the commander has each number of ships. I'd probably do that. I wouldn't do that to that level of nerdy competence, but that is something I'm interested in too, but I won't get so stuck on it here because that'd be boring. Also, yeah, you're right, it would be like getting sidetracked, yeah. Yeah, that's why you wouldn't do dev work on stream. The one thing I know I can't do on stream is like think a lot. Like I can't like plan out a lot of things, but I think I can like do labor like this. That's like have the opposite effect of what I want. Alright, fuck it. New plan. New plan, I will just do it in the lame way maybe. Pixel says, I know it's caution to the wind, but I just randomly switch numbers to what feels right when I mob, but it's just because I'm lazy. I do the same thing, yeah. I very much just feel it out. Like, I'm considering right now doing that. Literally that. Like, what if you set this back down to 3 now? Beagle's saying he's gonna do something, and then not doing it. Hang on. It's not like the end of the world if I can't get it to spawn all the distributions I want. There's like this perfect encounter I used to test on over in New York though. I should look what their permutations are. That's 4, 3, 5, 3, 5, 4. That's looking better. Getting some 3s in there. Getting some 3s. 4s. 3s. 4s. That looks alright for now. I can work with this. Ha! Now I get to reward myself by shooting something for a second. Because I do fucking love the combat in this. Ah! Jesus! Game. They love the combat too. They'll let you know about it. Oh, I probably shouldn't have flowed into the formation of 3 of them there. They're like... Are they sticking in formation? No, they're splitting up now. They were like very tightly in formation there. Yeah, I just want to dodge. Until my shield comes back up. Oh yeah, one thing I want to work on today is the heavy fighters too. I want to, very heavy fighters. I want to like work on their shields and make them better because they kind of suck right now. They're like sitting ducks too much. Shields are down on that one. Fuck, I got my shield again. I got them really low though. A few more autocannon hits should kill that. Just dodge. Missed. That motherfucker's shield's about to come back up. Ow. Shield's almost down. Shield's down on them. Got him. getting mauled on the 3-shot. Remember a couple of weeks ago where I beat like 6 of these fuckers at once? It's easy to fall out of practice with this combat. It's very punishing. It's very, you really gotta be working for this. I like that. I like a lot of skill-based combat. I like a high skill ceiling. I just hit myself on my own missile there. I flew into the explosion, I think. Got it. Isaac says, damn, this seems way too fast-paced, my dumbass. Hang on, Isaac, I'll show you what you can do. In a second. Jeff says, high skill ceiling is good, but I worry you're making the skill floor too high. I'm not worried about it. I think just with... Remember, just, do try to remember when you're watching these that I'm not testing easy fights right now because my personal skill ceiling is not that low because I've trained myself against these guys a lot. So that's why I'm fighting against like 3, 4, 5 of these fighters. But I know that not everyone is going to be able to take them on because when I first started doing this, I couldn't take them on. They're too hard. You know, 2 of them would give me trouble. So in the finished product, the idea is to have different areas, you know. So you, Jeff, you know, you don't want to take on like 4 elite Xenos fighters off the bat. You go to here, you go to Cheyenne Asteroid Field, and you know, leveled zones. It's like there's, you know, 1 or 2 Xenos here, and you can fight them, farm them up, practice dogfighting against them. Maybe you just stick in easier areas. Maybe you get a co-op buddy, which makes things a lot easier as well. Having friends, this is a lot easier. Maybe you get better gear, better ships, you know, like MMO stuff, multiplayer stuff. Level up your gear, level up your skills. That's the idea. But you're gonna see me a lot. If it does look too hard, that's a fair thing to think about. Just remember, I'm balancing against myself, and I'm pretty experienced with this kind of combat right now. So I've got to make them pretty tough, so I can get like good feedback from myself on what's hard, what's not, and then I can tune that back down from my personal feelings. You know, I can tune that back down to, okay, if I can handle 4 of these guys at this level, maybe we'll make the starter zone, you know, 2 guys and see how it goes for new people. Speaking of which, speaking of guys, I should add women to the Xenos as well. That's something I should actually do today because I know how to do it. 1 second, I need to add it to my list of things to do. Add women to Xenos. Because by default in Freelancer, none of the unlawful factions have women in them. You can only meet women. Like, women do exist in Freelancer, and it's really cool, like, that they didn't just make, like, men only. But by default, they're only in the lawful factions. There are no, like, because there's special pirate voices for the unlawful factions. I gotta mute Foundry, someone's in it. There's no, like, unlawful women. So, but I found out how to fix it, actually. Women will be bad. Yeah, let's make women bad right now. I know I love to get sidetracked, so let's make women bad right now. More women slavers, that's right. I know how to make women bad. I need to go to... I learned how to do it. I'm going to learn how to do it again. We're going to let women be evil. We're going to kill some women today. God, it sounds so bad. It's done in here. So this is factionprop.ini. I don't know if this has, like, horrible effects somewhere else. I just did it once and it worked. And I was like, cool. And then, like, I forgot to save it. So... basically, this is the faction we're dealing with here. Faction Xenos group. And then down here, you've got the voices they can use. Voice pilot F ill, which I guess is illegal. Male 01. Combatant says, you sure? I vaguely remember Outcast having female pilots. Let's go see. Let's go see. I should just be able to type in OC, right? FC OC? Outcast? OC? Rockford body, goddamn. What are Outcast's signifier? Unlawful. Just go through all the unlawfuls and I'll recognize them. Legality. Unlawful. UK, I don't know who that is. Don't know who N is. Oh, Nomads. LN. More Nomads. This is Golden Chrysanthemums. But see, it's illegal. That yeah, you're right. I am doing too broad a brush because the Golden Chrysanthemums exist and they're all women. But now I'm curious. I think I'll be curious. This is Rhineland. OUK. Is this Outcasts? I can't tell. What's that? Q. What is Q? The fuck is that? I don't know what some of these factions are. I could find out, but I'm not going to bother too much just yet. I only see legal here for female voices though. I don't think they made like specific illegal female voices, but maybe some factions do get them. Yeah, like whatever FCC group is, they get female pilots as well. Anyway, we're gonna steal this. Is the point? I guess I get some of the lawful guys too, like maybe mix the voices up. I don't know. Like you can also put in the other male voices that aren't like mustache twirling pirates, because there's only 2 pirate male voices. The one that's like, I'm going to use what's left of you to grease my ship, and the other one that's like, engaging Freelancer 1-1. And they're very like bandit coded. But you can totally just put in like the normal voices too. Maybe we will. Oh, here we go. This is Outcasts. And yes, they do have women pilots, you're right, but they don't have pirate voices. Anyway, we're going to steal this. Female head, body. Okay, so I'm going to steal this. We're going to go first name, female, female. Okay. Let's grab all of this. All of this. We're going to go back to faction Xeno, so FCX. I'm going to replace all this. So, what was MC costume? Voice. Okay. Let's comment out all of this for a start. Just while I slap everything into here disgustingly. And just put this in underneath it. So now we're going to have pilot illegal male 1, male 2 as we did before. But we're also going to have pilots legal female 1 and female 1A. Is there a female O2? FO2. No, there's only female O1 and female O1A. That's weird. Why? Odd. Strange and odd. MC costume. Space costume. Pirate head, pirate body. Let's stick with... What is this? Com generic. Newscaster head for female body. Seems like they kind of like jury-rigged women in, almost, with some of the ways these are set up. Maybe just try this. Maybe just try it like this. And just make sure it works first. I want to make sure that their last names stay Xenosy rather than turning their outcast names, if that makes sense. Whatever that means. Save that. And I just want to see if this works straight away. And then we can, you know, leave it as it is or fuck with it more afterwards. It's time to kill women, folks. Load it back up. Let's see if we have the power. There she is. Worked nicely. Ah. They're called Object Unknown, though. Doesn't like their name strings. I gotta fix that. Let's fix that now. It didn't like what I did with the female name there. Maybe just leave it on whatever the OCs are using and see if that works instead. Yeah, you're all talking about like voice pack modding. Apparently it's like really hard to do like that kind of stuff with this game, unfortunately. Like it's like a whole, it's possible, but a whole process. Do women have names now? Nora Haggard. Seems like they do. Yes. Excellent. That fixed it. Nora Haggard. What a fucking name. Let's see if I can beat Nora Haggard. Nora's friends say no. I say yes. We did it. We defeated women. Oh god, there's another one. Ricky Cave. You just got like a one name. Ricky Lords Bion, Ricky Kremer, and Ricky Cave. Ah! Oh, fuck, those missiles are dead on me. I got shield problems now. It's good. I like having women in the games I play. Spread them around. Why can't women be weird libertarian racists? I mean, yeah, I mean, there's reasons, but there's plenty of MAGA women. There can definitely be Xenos women pilots, for sure. Ah! Let's not gender bigotry too hard now. For those of you who know what the fuck I'm talking about, Xenos are like space MAGA. Are Xenos not aliens? No. So it's quite confusing when you first get into Freelancer lore. But, Xenos are essentially blue-collar workers who are like isolationists, like isolationist terrorists. They basically are like, Kusari took our jobs. Kusari being the, like, Japan stand-in, in this game's houses. So the IRA... No, the IRA also exists! And it's completely different. No. No, Xenos really are like space MAGA. They're, they just, like, destroy foreign shipping and want to, like, shut down the trade lanes and stuff. Because the foreigners are taking our jobs. That's, like, their whole thing. As a result, like, pretty much everyone but them hates them. Even other unlawfuls. They also deal space meth? They might, yeah. I mean, everybody deals a bit of space meth in this game, honestly. I forgot to show you guys that your thing. Hang on. Commander says IRC they also violently oppose drug trafficking, so it's not all bad. I want to say you're right, except no, because I know even in vanilla they like are resorting to drug trafficking to make their money to fund their operations. So whatever their actual ideals about it, I know they do it anyway. Ah! One more hit. Fucker. One thing I like about this game is it has lead pursuit missiles too, thank god. Working missiles. You're almost done. Thunderpants says my headcanon is that Xenos are just junkers after a bad divorce. Yeah, it's one way of looking at it. Are they Space Belka? What's Belka stand for in Ace Combat? What are they mad about? I've never played the Ace Combats with Belka in them. Like, my gut instinct is absolutely not, but... Germany? No, they're not. No, I told you what they are. They're Space MAGA. Like, you think I'm joking, like it's real. I'll show you after I kill these ones. I told you what they like. They're like that. Oh, you're low. Get missile. Oh, fucker. Just barely outturned it. I love seeing those, like, just barely outturning the missile moments in this. Too many of them showing up. Too many of them showing up. Uh-oh. This is gonna be the end. Oh, fuck!
Shield restored.
Shield's back. That's too many. Just get out of there. Oh. Alright, let me show you your thing, Isaac. Oh yeah, and I was gonna show you the other thing too. It's because they keep respawning in that area, of course. Yeah, Xenos are a loosely affiliated terrorist organization opposed to any trade or other interaction of foreign entities. That's why everyone hates them. Except the Zoners, who are incredibly neutral to everyone, as a rule. And the IMG, because I think the Xenos in deeper lore, like, used to be a lot of miners as well. So they have, like, ties to the Independent Miners Guild as well. But, like, even the Liberty Rogues, who are, like, the general Liberty crime family, hate them too. Everyone fucking hates them. Anyway, yeah, if space fighter combat looks too fast for you, Isaac, there is an alternative.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1, this is Pueblo. Everything's go for launch.
You can be a space trucker, Isaac. Does this look like more your kind of speed? Have you dreamed of being a space trucker? Let me fucking tell you. Freelancer is the game for you. This is what Space Market drives, literally. Just fighter combat is what you always see me doing in this game, but it's not the only thing about Freelancer, and it's also not the only thing I enjoy. I usually don't like doing trucking, you all know it. But I was forced to get into it basically for Discovery, because in Discovery there was ships and stuff you wanted that cost millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of credits. And one of the quickest way to get those credits was to make an alt that was a trader. And you could get giant, like this is a small freighter, you could get like freighters like 10 times the size of this, like real like cruise liners, like you know the Ever Given that blocked the Suez Canal, like that big. And go like, you would go on these epic long trips just routinely, like, you can't see the systems because we've locked them right now, but you would go from like, you know, all the way from Bretonia here, like 10, 15 jumps all the way to like Rhineland, and you'd like take shortcuts through illegal jump holes and stuff. You get attacked by pirates, you go on through the trade lanes, player pirates will like negotiate with you and you like try to stall them or pay them off or dump some of their cargo. And honestly, like, it's actually really fun. I actually really enjoy trade run gameplay in this game. It's really interesting and involved, especially when you get into the multiplayer side of things. Sometimes it can be really boring. Like, I remember like doing a lot of trade runs that were safe where I would just like watch a movie on the other monitor. Like, there's a lot of like just entering trade lanes. But, I don't know, it's also kind of cozy in its own way. And kind of satisfying. And also you get to fly a bigger ship with turrets. So rather than doing all that, you know, you're not doing the the high G turns or anything. You're not doing like the big, fast, quick dogfighting maneuvers anymore. You're like literally drifting through your turns with your inertia. And this is a small freighter. But you can go into turret mode and just like autopilot. Like, where's a lane?
Go to.
Just let the onboard computer do the work. Yeah, Helio Bomber escort time. Yeah, and like, the fun thing about it is that, you know, we can do more of the weight classes than just transport. So, for example, that other fight we had, you know, the Xenos have this fucking one of these, but it's converted Star Sector style into having a bunch of LRM launchers on it. And like heavy turrets. And we can give players the same options, of course. We can let you, you know, pretend you're a cap ship in one of these little freighters and just like stick heavier guns all over yourself. Eventually, you know, a lot of the great Freelancer mods do cap ship combat. Eventually, we would like to do that if we, you know, reach that point, but we don't want to do it from the start just because it's bloat. You know, like, there's no point putting in a battleship that you can fly as a player when it has no place. A lot of the mods, especially Discovery I've played, cap ships, like, serve, like, this kind of role-playing scenario circumstance, but they just have no place in the combat. But they are a thing, and they are a thing we can introduce, absolutely. Like, they exist, and there's tons of them. In Disco mod, for example, you know, you can make anything you want. You can make freighters, gunships, gunboats, frigates, destroyers, cruisers, battleships, battle cruisers, carriers, and every strange thing in between. You know, if you can imagine it, you can make it, as long as you got the talent. So one day I'd like to do that kind of combined arms. Give me a carrier? Yeah, I mean, one day maybe Isaac. But for now, we're sticking to fighters and freighters as, like, our player-controlled things for right now. Though we are gonna, you know, we are gonna have enemy caps, like NPC AI caps. At the very least, they already exist, like if we go over to here. If we go over to here, there's like NPC, like stationary caps and stuff for landing on. Look at the drift on this thing. Like this one. And you can fly this in some mods. Like, the engine is very easily lets you do caps. We're gonna stick with freighter size for now for PCs to keep it simple. But I do want to make freighters more than just transports. So they'll probably be filling like the big boy role of the mod for now for players. You know, do the turreting kind of gameplay, fly around, be the rock that your little group of player fighters circles around, for example. Have the cargo to bring supplies for when you go on long raids, because I want to do like long raids out into the woods in this mod. So you'll be the one who, you know, can bring extra supplies and ammo for everyone. Probably give them like support weapons like repair guns, healing guns, stuff like that. Be like a fun little like mobile base your team can play off of is the idea. So if you're into that, Isaac, that's the idea for you. Oh god, oh fuck! Anyway, I'm getting super sidetracked. So we put women in. Achieved. Put women in. Now, what do I actually want to accomplish after that? I should do a change log in my notes here. Changed. Added women to Xenos. Need to tidy up. Costuming. Just stole from Outcasts. Isaac says, yes, support class. Perfect for me who's unable to do fast-paced things because my reaction time is slow. Absolutely, you know. Absolutely. I want to do different kinds of gameplay for everyone. That's fun. It's fun to balance that. Combined arms kind of stuff. So, now that I've done that, I think the next thing I want to do is add the Xenos' new guns. So the Xenos guns that we are fighting right now, they're working fine. These little blue lava blades, right? Eric's giving them a little cosmetic lately. Only one minor problem. They're not meant to be using these. These are actually Liberty Navy guns. Oh, bye, Isaac. Have a good one. P-Son says, so you let Space Maga have Space MTG pilots? MTG? MTG? Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is that what you're saying? Anyway, so they're not meant to be using these guns. These are Liberty Navy guns. I've just always, for the past 3 years, had been testing against these guns. So it's finally time to change that. It's finally time to give them their own weapons they're meant to be using, and those guns are special Xenos weapons. So for that, we need to go to our spreadsheet. Now, Urk has given these beautiful cosmetics, so I'm looking forward to using them. We want to take them away from the lava blade, which we're using here, and add onto them the scorpion and the tarantula. Now, I might rebalance these things, because apart from the lava blade and the Winchesters, a lot of these were just, like, paper balanced I did a long time ago, but I didn't do, like, a bunch of testing with them. So, you know, like, basically, I know that the lava blades are fun to fight against now, but I don't know that anything else is. And across the board, the projectile speeds need to come down on a lot of these weapons. Because when you fight an enemy AI that has 1100 speed on their projectile, it's pretty fun. But when you fight them and they have projectile speed 1800, they hit you, like, every fucking time. And it's super unfun. You just die instantly. It's not very fun at all. So that's a very important thing for us to manage. These start at 1500. The first thing I'm going to do is just add them to the ships and see how we go. But I'll probably want to, like, change that up as we go. Do I want to do a mixed loadout here? These guns by default are Refire 4, which is basically a lava blade. It's a different kind of lava blade. I'm gonna put their range up too, I think, because the AI has trouble with low gun ranges. And then we have the Tarantula, which is slower but more damage. We'll probably start by just putting in a load of... Can I not edit this? Oh, I can only view it. Oops. Hang on. I need to log into this, essentially. Hold on one sec. I need to take this away from you for a second. I must be on my wrong account. What account am I meant to be on this? Okay, that one. Hold on a sec. What is my password? That's my password. It's gonna beep my phone. There it goes. What's my code? You're dangerously low on space on your phone. I'm sorry. My bad. Where the fuck? Yeah, confirm whether it's you trying to sign in. It's me trying to sign in, Google. Please, resend it. Resend the device. Yes, it's me. Yes, it's me. Let me in. Perfect. Okay, and now I can adjust stuff. Okay, so now if I bring it back. Boom, I can just copy this in-game ID, and we need that because we're going to add to the loadouts. So I've got that, the scorpions. We're going to balance them in a second, but first we're going to add them. So now we need to add them to the loadouts. How do I do that? GE fighter, fighter, fighter. What fighters am I using right now? I think I'm using fighter 4 D11 to 19, D1 to 19 here. Let me check. NPC ship. Yeah, okay. I need to go to loadouts. Here's vertical LRM Rhino. What were these called? Let me see. Let me put these together. FCXGE. FCXGE. Test fighter. This is the Canary loadout, which should be what I want. There's like a bunch of different ways this gets done in. NPC ships. I need NPC ships, that's what I need. Here it is, NPC ships. Ah! This is Fighter 4, Fighter 6. Where is the light fighter? I can check that. If I just minimize this, I can see what fighter is what. I think Fighter 4 is the light fighter. Yes, Fighter 4 is the light fighter, okay. Fighter 5 is the Falcon. So opening this back up again. Fighter 4 is my light fighters. Fighter 6 is my heavy fighters. These are the LRMs. So this is just for Canaries. I should just make a catch-all, but... Okay, for now I can just do FCXGE fighter loadout. So yeah, it's all pulling off this loadout anyway, so it's fine. So this is all I have to adjust. So we're going to take away Beagle Liberty Navy gun and turn it into Beagle Xenos gun. We don't, we give them 5 of them. Usually a medium fighter of this class only has 4 energy blasters, but then it also has like an autocannon slot as well, an auxiliary weapon slot like I do. Unfortunately the AI in this game don't, you know, I don't know how to teach them. I don't think they can be taught how to like use weapons contextually. Like, the autocannons are only good against hull and do nothing against shields, but if I give one to the AI, they will just shoot all their guns all the time. Like, they only know how to alpha strike. They don't know how to like... They don't know how to like switch guns based on the situation, so to get around that, we just don't give them autocannons. We just give them only missiles and blasters. Which, you know, it would be cool if we could give them the autocannons too, but they're too dumb, so we can't. We gotta give them their own loadouts. That should work right away. Let's just test that those all load in, right? It would be awesome if this game like hot loaded, like Pixel was saying, like I didn't have to restart the game. That'd be sweet. I don't think it does. I'm pretty sure the game has to be restarted to recognize the ionize again. Oh, new sounds. Okay, now remember these things are not be balanced. Oh, jeez! They're fucking scary, too. Oh, the smoke effects on them firing look so neat. I'm gonna have to tell ask Urk if he can make them last longer, though. The trails. Is there a console command to reload it in? I don't know. Oh man, those are fucking nasty to fight. Those are scary sounding. Their projectile speed is 1500. Whoa. And they're definitely, like, more accurate against me than the 1100s. I can't dodge that in a turn. I'm probably going to end up making all the weapons just be around the same projectile speed. Just because if you go too high, it gets like this, where it's really hard to fight against them. But if you go too low, they never hit ya. 1100 seems to be like a sweet spot of like what's fun. And like special weapons can have different velocities, but I think overall... Yeah, I'm getting my ass beat. I think overall... this is what I mean by testing on paper but not in practice. All these guns that like are higher than 1100 just aren't super fun to fight. But it works though, so... Let's balance them now. Now we can balance them. So... Now I need to go to weapon equip and do the balancing. Weapon equip. I don't have an open, I gotta open it. So that is located in the folder Freelancer escalation, data, equipment. Weapon equip INI, we're gonna open that. The gun ID was what again? Let me open up the googly spreadsheet. I'm gonna put that on top. Let's see it, Crux. Mediacal says you're on the right track. It takes longer to remember something because older people have more memories and thoughts to search through. That makes me feel better, yeah. That's why. I just haven't cleared out my hard drive in a while. My brain drive. So we're gonna go to this gun. So we're gonna copy paste that. And then just... Boop. Go to here. This is... I'm just gonna start adding comments to them, probably. This is the... What's it called again? Scorpion. This is the Scorpion. That'll make it easier. I can just control F Scorpion next time. Munition, da-da-da-da-da. I want to, like, extend out the range. I want to make it more like the Magma Hammer, basically. So, what I'm going to do... Sorry, not Magma Hammer, the Lava Blade. What I'm going to do... I forget why I've done this in red. I'm turning it to black now because it's in. We're going to turn the velocity down to 1100 and shit. Hang on. I had like these special modifiers of like every faction had its own like bend, like of like damage, efficiency, energy efficiency, velocity, and range. But I'm probably just going to like normalize all this again. Like Xenos' thing was they did more damage but they had less range. I think in practice against... Like, that's interesting, I think, for a player. But I think against the AI just uses certain kinds of weapons better. Like, if they have too short a range, it's just really dumb. And I think we just talked about why velocity isn't a good thing to play with either. Like, I tried playing against these outcasts who have, like, their faction thing is they cost more energy, but they have higher velocity. But then the AI doesn't really care about energy, unless you force them to, and they're bad at managing it. And then fighting against guns with, like... 2000 velocity is just pain. So probably if we do any like velocity differences, it'll be like very tiny. For now, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I think I'm gonna set these modifiers back to just standard. We can always redo them later if we want. I've got like this whole thing set up to calculate basically. Okay, and then with that done, we can see that the lava blades do 240. So let's set them to 1100. Just set everything to 1100 in the end. Set them to 1100 here. On velocity. On range, I would please like this to be longer, yes. So we'll set your range up a fair bit. The lava blades are only 34, really? That's very small. That might explain why I've been having such an easy time against them compared to my usual testing, because their range has probably been so low, they've been having less uptime on me. That's probably how I was able to take on 6 at once the other day, now that I think of it. We need to up that quite a lot. This also explains why Urk said he did multiplayer testing and the AI had a hard time hitting anything with their lava blades. Makes sense, that's immensely low, that's an oversight. That is, when you consider that these ships are moving at 300, you would have to be within, like, Very close range to hit with those. That's crazy. I've been handicapping them huge. Let's fix that right now. We're going to take this up to multiply lifetime. Okay, we're going to take this up quite a bit. So it's because their velocities come down so much as a thing. If we up their... but because the range of a weapon is, by definition in this game, it's going to be the combination of a weapon's projectile velocity times the lifetime of the projectile. Projectiles will exist for this long, and then after this time, we're represented here in seconds, fractions of seconds, the projectile disappears. So if your gun shoots a projectile that's 1,000 meters a second, and it only lasts for half a second, it's only going to have a range of 500. Let's up the lifetime of the projectiles here, because we don't want to up the velocity. We like that at 1100, that's the magic number. So we'll up the lifetime instead to 0.88 of a second. That's going to give you a range of 968. I think 800 is good in single player, but from what I've been hearing, maybe that's too low for multiplayer. Well, that's probably because he was fighting the guys with 468 range. So you know what, let's try it. Let's go 77? How do I get the exact number I want? Math is how? 66. I just plug different numbers in. 69. 70. 71. I'm just going to get that 792 there again. 72. So with a velocity of 1100 and a lifetime of 0.72. Let's do the same with the new discount lava blades at home, these scorpions down here. So 72 lifetime. Damage-wise, the damage is a little lower on these compared to the Liberty Navy guns. I don't hate it, but I think we can turn them up to what the... I think we can just, like, turn these into the lava blades. These are going to be, like, the main guys you fight in Colorado. I wouldn't mind just making the lava blades something else in the future. This is the Liberty Navy's gun. And just making... Basically, I've done the most testing against this gun in my life. And I know it's the most, like, fine to fight against. It's the one I've checked out the most. So if the Xenos are going to be the main thing that lawful players... Because you can be a pirate. But if lawful players fight in this system, it makes sense to give the same stats, essentially. And then make the lava blade different in some other way. So in that sense, we'll go 380 damage. That is C45 divided by I45. What is C45? Oh, yeah, I auto-calculate this because I based it off DPS. So I think I can just set this to my desired DPS and it'll do it all for me, right? That's 800. Why is it not coming out the same way? Times L45, that is damage modifier. No, it is the same, I'm crazy. My brain is small. My brain is small, never mind. I was getting typoed. So that is right, yeah. 800 DPS, which is 200 per shot. Energy per second, we will leave that as it is for right now. Velocity, lifetime, range, refire, energy, no ammo. That's all good. Okay, so now we just have to make these changes in the game itself. So now we just go over to our notepad. I'm going to copy these over. So the Scorpion's projectile damage needs to be 200 per shot, which is up here, munition. When you're editing guns, it's separated into the gun itself, and the gun is just a launcher for the projectile, the munition. So you have two different blocks here to go together, munition then gun. So in this case, we're going to set the damage down to 200. Does it need its own energy damage? Is that a thing? How did I do... Yes, it does. If you wanted to do damage to shields, it has to have energy damage, I believe. I can double check this very quickly. I can just go to the lava blades. Let's see, I can go to the autocannons even. Yeah, they have very little energy damage, they do nothing. I wonder, is that working properly? I want to check something else now. There's something I need to check. I need to go to... It's like a constants. Weapon mod DBDB, here it is. This is a special file that basically sets the effectiveness of all different damage types in the game versus shields. I think my guns might be doing double damage to shields without being intended, which would explain why shields pop so quick. I think my guns might be doing extra. This might not be intended. I do need to check the lava blades now. What is the name of the lava blades? The lava blades is in-game ID, Liberty, Navy group gun. Let's go back to that. I mean, it's been feeling pretty good, so it's not the end of the world. Let's go back up to it. Yeah, it has hull and energy damage too. I wonder if I'm doing 400 of these shields instead of 200. Interesting. What are my Winchesters doing? Sorry, just like realizing things right now. I think I'm doing double damage to shields. Because there's different damage types. The Winchesters, which I use, are a bounty hunter gun. I'm just going to search for them. Yeah, they also do. Everything's doing hull damage and energy damage. Interesting. Okay, go back to Scorpion. We'll leave it as that way for now. If I need to fix it in the future, I'll need to fix all of them, so that's fine. Weapon equip. 200, 200. We need to make the lifetime to... What does it say on our spreadsheet? It says... 0.72. So lifetime goes to 0.72. And the rest, we need to change our velocity. Velocity is defined by the launcher. The gun itself goes down to 1100. Power usage is 50, that's fine. Yep, that's what we want. Refire is 4. Damage 200. Energy per second 200. Yep. Okay, I think we can jump back in now. Let me do it. Let me scan them, because this is a quick way to see if things actually went in the way I wanted. We can actually scan them and look. So yeah, range 792, projectile speed 1100. They still sound fucking scary. Hull damage 200, shield damage per shot 200. Yep, that looks about right. Oh god. I'm gonna be taking a lot more fire in a 4-way now. Oh, the effects when you get hit are awesome. Because I've like doubled their range now. This is why it's been so easy to fight 4 of them at once. I nerfed them without realizing. And now they're brutal. Now I can't even get on them without getting shot. Oh my god, look at them fucking fuck me. The sound is much more intense now, like it's much more like penetrating to my ears, the sound of these guns compared to the very quiet sound of the lava blades. You can really hear you're dying. I don't know if it's too intense for me. Or if it's just right. I like my parry, I guess. The effects of the incoming fire is like really scary, I'll say that. Have you managed to make burst fire weapons? No, but they are possible. We have a like friend associate who knows how to do them. He's very clever. Oh god, destroyed. Maybe I can take on 3 now. So I can't beat 4 anymore. Now that they're back to like having real guns, basically. Real ranged guns. I was giving them all like pistols while I had an assault rifle before. I thought it was the asteroid field last time. I was like, oh, the asteroid field makes them way easier. I can fight 6 of them. No, I couldn't fight 6 of them. I was just fighting 6 of them with their weapon ranges halved. I gotta just kill one real quick. Even 3 is hard now. That's good though, I like that. Because then like 1 and 2 are more legitimate threats to newer players too, and you don't have to like swarm the area. I like that. I like each fighter being a credible threat in its own way. I like that. Got him. 3 is much more doable for me at least. One thing to keep in mind about difficulty too that I have to keep in mind is that in a finished game of this, like I'm just doing like skirmishes, I'm doing instant action. Like each fight is its own self-contained thing. So if I like win a fight with 10% hull, I still win. In like a finished like playable intended loop of this, that wouldn't really be the case because that means you need to go back to base, like you're done. You know, you've taken too much damage, you need like a repair buddy or something. You know, that's like med time. Your ideal for like a stable level of challenge that isn't pushing you to your limits would be something you can take on by working hard without taking a lot of hull damage, or really taking any hull damage at all. That would be like stable farming, you know? Because if you have to stop and like spend a minute repairing after every engagement, you're very vulnerable. That's more of a like fighting for your life situation, I guess. We don't want that to be like... We don't want that to be like the all-the-time experience for players. That's like the sometimes happening, but not every fight. Don't want the enemies to feel incompetent though either, yeah. And you really don't want that because that's the main reason I modded this. That is that Vanilla Freelancer is very fun, but the basic fights are just way too easy. Like, everything's too slow. The AI is really, like, intentionally, like, made to be dumber. And, you know, I ended up just falling asleep during a lot of the fights against NPCs. And my goal for this mod was to take all the intense experience and memories I had of fighting real players in Discovery mod and turn that into the NPCs you fight. I wanted to make NPCs that felt much more like people. You know, they actually challenge you, they try to live, they dodge, they hit, they work like people. Like, it's more like PvP. And I don't have a copy of Vanilla Freelancer to show you the difference at this point, but even I forget sometimes. Like, it's a massive difference already what we've got here compared to Vanilla Freelancer. Leaps and bounds. That was a bad miss, so I don't know why I pressed that. That was a bad launch. Pixel says, I'm a big fan of AI that gives illusion to people. Yeah, because I want it to be interesting. You know, when you're making a mod like this and like you want it to be multiplayer, that's one thing. But the big thing for this mod, because Freelancer has a very small but like tight-knit community, you know, you can't make a mod like this and be like, okay, and like it's all based around PvP, you know, like it's all based around, you know, our expectation we're gonna have 50 players at all times. You just can't fucking do it. So with this mod, the idea is like, it can be for, you know, a lot of multiplayer players, it can be really fun, we design it with that in mind. But also, like, we want to design it in mind for, like, maybe there's just one player. Maybe there's, like, 5 players, like, peak, you know, on this mod. It should still be fun for those 5 players, you know? It should still be, like, a full-on experience. You should be able to PvP each other, meet up, just exist in the same system, and engage the AI as your main combat, and still have that be fun and worth your time. That's just like a safeguard for me, you know, because at the end of the day, I make mods like this for me. I want to play this, so, you know, even if no one else shows up, I can keep having fun with this. Anyway, so these guns feel pretty good. Jury's out on whether the sound gets annoying to me one day, but for right now, I think it's fine. And the visual effects that Urk has done on these are beautiful. So there we go, we've got the Xenos have their own faction-specific gun in now. Which is nice. Get me the fuck away from you, because you're destroying me.
Shield restored.
Alright, so that's done. Good. I'm kind of cheating too, because I'm using a gun that isn't 1100 projectile. I'm using a 1500 projectile speed gun. I'm a cheater, basically. Alright. And I think in the end it's alright for players to have access to higher velocity guns, just because the reason it's so toxic against AI is, even as you tell the AI to not be so accurate or have more dispersion, I find there's still, like, you know, AI tends to just be more aim-bodied. They're robots. It's just how it works. In practice, I think, in a multiplayer environment, players have a much harder time hitting each other, but that's PvP testing, that's its own thing. For now, that's done. I've put in the Xenos guns onto them. What else do we want to do? I want to balance all their encounters. I want to do like a bunch of different encounter balancing of like scout groups, combat groups, mining groups, smugglers, elite combat groups, aces, stuff like that. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I kind of want to do the very heavy fighter balancing, because that would be a big cool thing to do. And then I can also, I can balance the Xenos very heavy fighters, because it's balancing a player ship and an enemy ship at the same time, because we use the similar ones. And then I can also balance them as part of the encounter. So I need to do that first. So the first thing we'll do is balancing the Eagle very heavy fighter, because they have not been very fun yet. They've been too sluggish for not enough reward. Urk put in some specific very heavy fighter shields before they were using heavy fighter shields. So I can make them tankier now, which should be what they're missing. Pixel says, for a long time I've been wanting to write AI scripts. I haven't been brave enough, been wanting to make tactical AI. I love hearing about that kind of stuff, you know? Like, that's always the goal, it's always the dream. I love to hear about it. Alright, so let me add to my little changelog here. Added Scorpions to Xenos. Xenos medium fighters, and balance them like old lava blades. I have to pick here between doing the very heavy fighters or having a little bit of fun and balancing the Liberty Navy ships. Because it'll be a change of pace, but I've also been meaning to tune the Liberty Navy ships as well. I haven't really touched them yet. It's like a bit of a cosmetic difference. You get to fly around in a Defender and stuff, which is fun. I get to balance their guns. The smarter thing though would be to do the Eagle first. Maybe we can do the Eagle first, and then fuck around with the Navy later. So... let's see. How do I start doing that? The first thing I do is I pull up my spreadsheet. I'm gonna go to my ship balance. Pixel says I was gonna create a 3D coordinate system around a player broken into average building stories and playing around playing position. If that makes any sense. For what game, Pixel? For what purpose? So here's our ships. Now we've been flying and fighting. This always gets confusing. I go between calling them medium fighters and heavy fighters, and I need to just settle on one and stick with it. But basically, Freelancer has this naming convention where they don't have light, medium, and heavy. They have light fighter, heavy fighter, and very heavy fighter. I tend to sometimes call them light fighter, medium fighter, and heavy fighter, but it's confusing. Maybe I could just stick to LF, HF, VHF, because that would be less work than changing all the strings in the game that refer to heavy fighters to refer to very heavy fighters. So I should probably just bite the bullet and stop referring to these as medium fighters. Medium fighters don't exist. It's light, heavy, and very heavy. Sure, whatever. So, medium fighters do not exist. But I'm still going to keep calling them that, so I apologize. Anyway, you obsessed with that game? I'm glad. Crying face, though. Is it an abusive game to be obsessed with, Pixel? Red Dead? Anyway, we've been flying in and fighting the HF Falcon. Technically, I'm flying in a variant of it called the Condor, which just has a Liberty paint job, essentially. But it is worth noting that if we make changes to the Falcon, it won't necessarily update on our ship, because it is technically a different ship. Anyway, it's right now it's set at the same. So what we want to do is work on the Eagle. The Eagle is the very heavy fighter. Now, currently... what I need to do is I need to make a save of one so we can see the problems we can work on them. Speed 200. Wait a minute, what? Speed 200. Is that right? How out of date is this? Aren't I going 300? How out of date is this spreadsheet? Yeah, baby, I go 300. Bottom down here, this is a speed indicator. This spreadsheet is very out of date. I'm gonna do a lot of upgrades. We're going 310, baby. We're going fast. Am I meant to be going that fast? I guess. I guess I'd, like, made these changes offline. I do like to go fast. 300 is pretty fast. In vanilla, you only go 100 for reference, as far as I remember. This can't be right. This is way too slow. You must go 200 in vanilla, surely. This can't be how fast you go, unless the speed coming at you thing is just based on how fast your throttle is. I know that in vanilla you have the thruster to go up to 200 to 300 as well, but still. 200 in vanilla was thruster boost speed? Damn, vanilla's so much slower. I love going fast. 300 was cruise, yeah. So I guess by default in this mod your impulse engines are cruise, but of course we then up cruise speed as well. Alright, well, that's good to know that my shit's out of date. So what I need to do is I need to go get an Eagle. Where do I find an Eagle? I could just go around to every station, but the quickest way is to check my INIs, of course. So what I want to do is I want to go to my spreadsheet, I want to get the ID of the fighter. It's GE Fighter 6 is what we're looking for the Eagle. And Minimize that again, we'll go to the notepads. And I'm going to try to remember the file in which we find where the ships are sold. I believe it is marketships.ini here in data equipment. Yes. GF6 package. So let's just immediately search for LIO3 Colorado. This file defines what is sold where as ships. Do we have the Eagle set up to buy in LIO3? We don't. So we're going to have to add it ourselves. Currently, one of these, I don't know what the bases are. I'm going to have to comment them and start adding to them. But LIO3_01 base sells the Falcon, LF, and LFR. Pisa says, I just checked, vanilla regular speed is 80, yeah. So the big thing about vanilla... Hang on. The big thing about vanilla is that it's all about using the thruster, which is a limited sprint bar. We're gonna go to Denver.
Go to.
But I hated that because, in the end, as you saw in multiplayer PvP, it would result... I'll say it again for those who weren't here last time I explained it. It would result in this thing where, like, you're going around at this speed normally, right? And it's so slow. Obviously, this isn't gonna cut it. So you're hitting your thruster all the time, and the thruster would let you go up to 200 briefly. Like, go with the thruster, you go back to 100. So, nominally, the combat was about managing your thruster to hit higher boosts of speed, to dodge shots, and chase your enemy and stuff like that, right? You know, the faster you are, speed is life. The problem was that how it actually worked in multiplayer was it turned into engine killing is life. Engine killing is when you hit this button that goes into Battlestar Galactica mode, where you just drift based on the inertia you had when you started into engine kill. The problem with that is it maintains your highest speed. So all people would do, instead of ever having to manage thrusters, is they would go, I'm at 100, I'm going to boost up to 200 with my thruster, and I'm going to engine kill. And then you would engine kill, pass, okay, thruster again. I can show you, it's just like this. You wouldn't use your impulse, you would thruster, drift, ice skate around like this. And it ended up, I think, in like just very boring metas of constantly jousting each other with engine kill. And I didn't really like it in the end. I thought it could be better. It was like the one true meta of how to play the game in PvP, and I didn't think it was very fun. What I like about Thrusters basically does nothing right now in this mod. You know, it is just disabled essentially. And instead, you don't have to engine kill because you just have your top speed all the time. And it results in a lot more like jet fighter gameplay of like turning on each other, turn battles, dodging and weaving. I like it a lot more. Alright, so we're gonna go and dock on Denver, and we're gonna see if this really is the base I want. Planet Denver. Okay, and this is the one. So Planet Denver is what we're looking at. They sell the Patriot, the Falcon, and the Rhino. I'm gonna get rid of the Patriot here, which I think is the LF, and replace it with the Eagle. So we just need to open up our notepad, and... Market good GF5 package, market good GF2 package, GF2 package, no. Yeah, here, GF5 package. So you just need to change this LF package into GF6 package, and that should already exist in the notes here somewhere. Market ships, save, and then if we restart, we should then be able to buy an Eagle here. I want to save this as Eagle save. I'm gonna check, like I can't just load it, right? No, that would be great. Yeah, it is a jump PG. In vanilla, like light fighters just become obsolete. And very heavies are the end game. There's a very heavy right there. So now we can get the Eagle. It's time to finally give the Eagle some love today. I've only been flying and basically testing the Falcon for so long. But honestly, the Falcon's starting to feel pretty good. That default mirror fights feels pretty good. It's time to expand. It's time to get this shit ready. So it's time to go for the Eagle. The model of the Eagle only just adds like a couple extra struts, but stats-wise, it's a much heavier beast. Use your imagination. The weapons loadout on it and these little struts, they had a lot of drag, okay? As balanced right now, we go up, we get an additional energy blaster spot, an additional primary weapon slot. We get an additional auxiliary weapon slot, so that's another autocannon slot. An additional armor, additional 10,000 armor, so but by default, the Falcon has, sorry, not by default, the way we've got it balanced, the Falcon has 15,000, Eagle has 25,000, so it's not quite double, but it's almost double hull. A bit more cargo space. It's heavier, it's less, a little bit slower, and it's less agile. Let's buy one.
Ship purchase complete.
The big thing about the very heavy fighters so far is the intention I'm trying to go for with them is that heavy fighters are your standard pick up and play fighter. They're your default. If you don't want to think, you pick them up. They're your standard player. But then, if you want to use alternative gameplay, you've got the light fighters, which are very flimsy glass cannons, but they're much more agile. And they have a bit less firepower. And then you have the opposite. You have the very heavy fighters, and the idea of them is they're less agile. Look at that big autocannon on the nose. They're less agile, but they're much tankier to make up for it. And they have much more firepower. The problem in... That's the idea. The problem in practice so far is that, especially in one-on-many fights, the lower agility of the very heavy fighter just gets you killed. You know, you just cannot turn quick enough, so you're just getting mobbed, hyena pack picked apart. And you just can't really take advantage of your extra firepower. You can't really bring it to bear, because you can't live long enough to really make use of it before you're taking too many hull hits. Now, to an extent, that's not a terrible thing. To an extent, there is an element of balance there, that, you know, the very heavy fighter should not be able to do everything, because if it can, you just get back to vanillas and, you know, discos and vanilla mod themed balance problems, where the very heavy fighter is the be all and end all, and everybody flies a very heavy fighter. If you can just have no downsides to flying a very heavy fighter, then everyone will fly them, because they have the biggest armor and they have the biggest guns. However, I think it's too skewed against the very heavies right now. I think they're just not fun to fly on their own. And I don't want to relegate them purely to a thing you only fly with teammates covering you, like, so you're not outnumbered. Like, they can have a role like that, obviously, where their greater firepower allows them to be very useful against bigger ships, like freighters, that they can outturn. Are very lights balanced? What's your plan to balance them? They're in, but I could do some more tweaking on them as well. They're a bit anemic on their firepower. But I would like these very heavy fighters to be a bit more capable. One of the steps we're going to take on that today is we're going to give them their own shield class. But previously they were using the same one as the heavy fighters. It was all well and good them being tankier in hull, but it didn't feel good that your shield went down at the same rate, because then you just, you know, you're taking hull, and taking hull attrition like that, you just die. So we're going to give them more shield so that they're tankier before losing shield as well. I don't think we need to bring their agility up. I think their agility is actually pretty finely tuned right now, where they're still fighters, but they're definitely outturned by heavy fighters quite reliably. But what we will upgrade is their shields so that they can afford to use engine killing more. Let me take this out for a flight while I tell you about this. Let me get the load out. Because the big thing here is the engine killing. What we want is we want this very heavy fighter to be viable, but in a different playstyle to the heavy. We want it to be you play these differently. And I think we can achieve that. We're going to get our extra weapon. Where do I get my extra guns from? I gotta set them for sale here. I guess I should start using the civilian weapons too, I guess. I don't wanna, but I guess I should. There's no Winchesters in this system. Okay. I could just put the Winchester for sale here, but the Winchester isn't gonna be a final gun, so I probably shouldn't. If anything, I could make the, if anything, I could make the flashpoints like Winchesters. So I gotta change these as well. Okay, we're gonna try and do flashpoints. I love these guns. They're stutter stepping. Lets me take on so much enemy. We're gonna try flashpoints. There's also star beams. We could try a blend of both. See how we feel. Star beam. 3 flashpoints and 2 star beams. Mixed weapons loadout. We've got 1 SRM launcher. I can't buy other autocannons here either. I'm gonna have to put them at least for sale. My Wasp Cruiser, so I've got this. Ah, we get our own shield classes now, do we? These, I think, are the VHF ones, because I can no longer equip this. Oh, no, I can. Elite Shield Class 3. Here they are, VHF shields. These are what I actually want. Your ship doesn't have a hard point capable of manning this piece of equipment. Class 4. I need to change that. I need to let VHF shields go up to Class 5, I guess. Yeah, I couldn't even mount this. I'm gonna have to remember how to do that. But these are the shields we're gonna balance for today. First of all, though, let me just go out and show what I mean about balancing them.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1, this is Planet Denver.
You guns.
Clear.
These are just civilian line guns, flashpoints and star beams. You got the flashpoints go... Hang on. Flashpoints go... like this. And then the star beams are the fast ones that go... pew 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 pew. It's kind of pretty when you put them together. These are also custom effects Eric's done. They're really nice. So, with the very heavy fighters, because they're so slow on turning, what we want to do in the fights, they've even got a bit of like drift to them, you can see. What we want to do in fights is we don't want to like be playing the turn game like this the same way we're doing a heavy fighter. We want to be doing more of this. Engine killing. So engine killing is a really important thing to think about when we're doing our modding of this and balancing. Because it's a thing that, it's like thrust vectoring, it's a thing that normal jet games don't really have when you consider jet balance of turn battles. And in a jet game, turn rate is everything in a dogfight, right? It's all about, if the other guy turns quicker than you, you're fucked. In Freelancer, that's not necessarily true because you can engine kill. So if I'm heavier than you, I can work around that by going like this. Now I'm going away from you while I'm still turning. So you're on me and your gun's hitting me early, yes. But I'm still going to be able to get my nose on you because of engine killing. The difference is, though, engine killing makes you go in a straight line. And what does that do? That makes you more vulnerable. So you're probably already getting the idea that this is why it's a suitable thing for a very heavy fighter to do. You're going to try and overcome your turning deficit by exploiting your superior tankiness, because you're going to be taking fire while you're doing this, but hopefully you've got the tank ability to wear that fire and use the engine killing to get your shots on. You can even see when you try to like take off again, like look at that slug. It's a sluggy baby. So that's what I mean by when I think the agility is fine on these things for now, but I need to up their tankiness. So, to do that, let's land again. And let's equip these very heavy shields and start to balance them.
Understood.
And then we'll take this out to the asteroids fields and have some fights with them. Light fighters are like the opposite. Light fighters are out-turning heavies and very heavies, but they don't have much tankiness at all. So they don't want to engine kill much at all. And it depends, because if you're fighting lots of people, engine killing is worse because other people are going to get their guns on you. If you're 1v1ing, engine killing isn't so bad because for most of the turn your opponent is turning as well, so they won't get you for most of your vulnerability. It's very different when you're being ganged up on. The game changes very much, you know, based on that, which is another reason I'm so passionate about this game. It's so interesting to me. This game is so interesting to me. There's so much there, you know. So, we need to add heavy ACs to the shop here in Denver. We are probably going to want to balance these guns as we go as well, but we'll leave that for right now. DPS-wise, they should be vaguely balanced right now. And we want to add... The main thing we want to do is add the new shields. They're already in, but we want to do them. So we want to do this Brigandine VHF shield right here. And we're going to play with numbers and see what feels too good and what feels too bad. But the first thing we have to do is get them on the ship. So I need to tab out. And I need to figure out how to set the ship's shield classes again. And I knew how to do this once, I'm going to learn how to do it again. I don't think it's on this spreadsheet, no. Get rid of that, go back to here. Okay, let's figure out without... I can probably just Google it, but let's just try to brute force figure out how to do this. So it's GF6, right? No, GE6. Eagle? What's it called again? One sec, you can't see my find box going. GE Fighter, I'm searching for GE ship. GE Fighter 6, there it is. Here is the Eagle, and again, just add helpful little comments as I go, I think. So this is the Eagle VHF. Now I'm gonna bet here in the ship arch file we can find where we need to set what shields it can take. If it's not here, it'll be in a similar file, but let's see. Ship class is 3, yes. Shield battery limit, no. We've taken out nanobots and shield bats because they just extended fights unnecessarily. Cargo hold size 65, linear drag, max bank angle. I learned all of this once, I'll have to learn it again at some point. There's your hull hit points. Shield link, maybe this is it. CV Fighter 6 Shield 01, HP Mount Shield 01. Huh? What does that mean? HP type, HP elite. Ah, here we go. I want to add this for 4 and 5, I reckon. We'll see. I think this is just like it's allowed types. Oops. So if I add this to 4 and 5 and I save, I bet that is going to let us do what we want here. Let's find out. So let's just restart. And I think I'll be able to take it now. Ha 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 ha! Yes, perfect. Should I mean this game's just a fun little adventure. You can figure a lot of stuff out just tweaking around once you get used to things. So we'll take out the Heavy Fighter Shield. Which, let's keep in mind, that is 5,400 capacity, basically, of a regeneration rate of 400. So the stats here, shield capacity, obviously is your maximum shields value. Regeneration rate is, I think, per second how many you get back. Pixel says, thanks for showing me this game, Biggs. Never seen it before, I might pick it up. Yeah, it's fucking awesome, Pixel, and if you get into it, I mean, we're gonna be releasing this mod for people to play against soon, like, by April. So yeah, hit me up if you get into it. I'm very passionate about it, I love it. Anyway, rebuild time is when the shield goes down, how long it takes for the shield to come back up in fights. It's about 15 seconds now. Rebuild power drain is how much power it's taking off the power plant of the ship, which is its own thing. There's so many stats to balance. Every second when it's rebuilding, and this is just when it's up, the constant power drain then as well off the power plant of 630. This detracts from your ability to do fire weapons, so it's all like a balance. Sell all that, and we'll stick on the Brigandine VHF shield. Now, right now, the stats are actually worse in this thing. They haven't been tuned, so let's tune these stats. So we can just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, rather than being very mathematical about it. Maybe we just double the shield capacity. Double the regen rate? That would be pretty tanky. You want to be careful, because you don't want to get to a point where you're invulnerable versus, like, one enemy. You know what I mean? Like, with a broad range of arms to fight, it would be bad to get to the point where, like, the shield regens so much a light fighter can't even kill a VHF, right? That becomes a problem. So maybe you make the capacity higher, but you keep the regeneration rate not as high, so the light fighter can chew through it over time. But for now, we can just try doubling it, I think. Probably double the power drains as well. Okay, so I need to find this shield. Brigandine Very Heavy Fighter Positron Shield. Let's find it in my... Hopefully Urk has added this. Pixel says, be kinda neat to make a shield that rebuilt fast and turned on quickly so it can be used reactively instead of passive, just spitballing. Yeah, like, stuff like that is really exciting. And here's the thing. So about this mod, here's the thing. What I really want to do with it is, beyond like the modern combat stuff I was talking about, is make it like a loot, like extraction shooter basically kind of thing, where not make it into exactly that, but that fun of Tarkov and games like that, where like you go out, you're in a danger zone, you find cool shit, you bring it back, and you're like, whoa, I found this cool thing. What I really want with this game is, because what I always loved about this game is how good exploration feels in this game. I want to have more stuff that rewards you for exploring. So like, you go out and you find really weird, unique gear. Like, oh, I found this shield that you can't buy, and it's really fucking weird. Like, it's like the one you just described, you know? Like, yeah, like it has no capacity, but it like rebuilds and regens instantly. Yeah, like PG Tip says, like Lost Tech, exactly. Or, like, here's this really fucking, you know, the weird shield that has like very, very low regen, but really high capacity. So once it all goes down, you're kind of fucked. But it gives you like a really big buffer until that point, you know what I mean? Just like different ways to play and like exciting stuff. I love playing games and going out and be like, whoa, I found this unique, exciting thing. And then retailoring my whole loadout around it. It's like Battletech, like PG Tip says, like Lost Tech. Like, oh, I found like this ERPPC, I'm gonna change my whole build around it. So you can do a lot of exciting stuff like that, and with technical modding to this game, like coding and programming and plugins, you can do even more. And I love that. I want to do lots of cool shit like that. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked because I love this game. So I want to go to the shields, and hopefully Urk's put these in, because Urk's very good and dutiful about keeping this spreadsheet well done. I'm not, because I'm an arsehole. I gotta start being better at it. But here we go, yes, Urk's put them in. So you've got the Brigandine VHF shield right here. And you can see other variants we have, which we're not going to have in. I think we're just going to reduce it down for bloat right now. Issue capacity base. This is me doing my baselines and some comments for myself. Constant power draw is pulled regardless of shield status. If it goes down, rebuild power draw is also pulled from the power plant on top of constant power draw. An empty power plant will not stop a shield rebuilding. Rebuild power draw is calculated as 50% of constant power draw for normal shields. Huh. For low downtime shields, rebuild power draw is 30%. Cost is calculated as 10,000. We've got like all this math for it, basically. Pison says, yeah, the rock, paper, scissors vanilla tried to do with weapon type shields didn't really do much, I think. Yeah, I never cared about like the graviton plasma. I never kept track of that shit. We've largely removed that whole rock, paper, scissors thing of effectiveness. The different variants here weren't for that. These were our own variants of like, you know, low downtime, but, you know, like rebuilds quicker, but it has less regen, or has more regen, but rebuilds slower, that kind of thing. Anyway, we're keeping it to the high regens for now, because they're the most popular, but with us. So the Brigandine VHF shield. Are we modding Freelancer? We are. Protects our HF shield here, capacity 4335. Brigandine. This is the one I was using, the advanced Brigandine. So I want to double this. I'm going to go to... What is this? Oh, fuck. What is this basing off of? This is math. K33 times $B $45. I don't know what the fuck that means. This is like Urk's secret math. Oh, it's column? Is that B column cell 45? Ah, it's going off like the base down here. Yeah. So it's doing the math here. That must be... $sign must be like the whole column. I don't know. Dave Greer, yeah, I got the Excel wizards here. Dave Greer says cell 45, B45, the $sign makes the reference static. What does that mean? Without it, when you copy paste a formula, the cell changes. Oh, so it's gonna keep pulling off down here. Right. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to be a part of this. I want to make my own formula this way. I want to go VHF block, which I'm not going to put in here because I don't want to fuck up like all of his calculations already. HH constant power draw base. What does that mean? HH. I think I just like misspelled that. Or he did. Okay. Let's go capacity. Just double it by default. Let's start out by doubling it. 1200. Can I put like a red border around this so I remember that like this is like work in progress? I haven't done it, like put it in yet. Boom. Regen base, we're just gonna double everything. Double the regen. That's everything too, and this is what I want to do with like bigger ships like freighters. Right now they have the same like rebuild time or even quicker. I want to do it differently where freighters and, you know, eventually cap ships, if and when we do them, have much, well, NPCs are going to have cap ships, so I have to do it now anyway, have like much bigger shield pools, but their vulnerability time is way lower. So for example, a cap ship, you know, could have 10 times your shield capacity, or a freighter could have 5 times your shield capacity, but then when the shield goes down, it stays down for like 30 seconds instead of 15 seconds. So it's a lot more work to get through that shield, but you have much more open time to blow the thing the fuck up on their down, you know what I mean? And it's fun that you can balance that way. For VHFs, maybe we do that as well. Maybe we say it's got a bigger shield, but it takes a bit longer to come back up. I don't want to go too hard on that, but let's say like 20 seconds for now instead of 15. Part base. Let's make this hardier. doesn't really matter too much, but that's like actually like blowing the components off. Yes, Freelancer has component gameplay where you technically can target and blow off individual components. It is a thing. It doesn't really pop up a lot unless you specifically mod the game to be a big thing, but you can mod the game to be all about like, I blew off your shield, I blew off your engine, you know? I blew off your guns. With different types of damage. It is interesting that you can do that. Because then again, for bigger ships like freighters and caps, you can have that not be a thing for fighters where it'd be too annoying, but then you can have like, for like capital ships, like, okay, it would take you a long time to blow this battleship up, but you can instead just cripple it, you know? You can actually just take out the engines on the battleship, take out the turrets on the battleship, take out the shield generator on the the battleship, and, you know, wear it down that way, piece by piece. That is probably, you know, a more interesting way to do cap gameplay rather than just shoot its hull till it dies, you know? I mean, with plugins, you could probably even make, like, special parts that when they blow up, like, it takes chunks of health off them, too, I don't know. You could probably do a lot of fun stuff there. Boss battles. Constant power draw, let's go to 500 on you, because VHFs are bigger and nastier. Okay. And then I want to make these. Thank God for my chat. You guys are really helpful when I'm working with the spreadsheets. Know exactly what to do. Let's have the VHF shields now reference that. Okay, so we want to change that to be. I'm gonna go down a bit. Let me change this to green. Because that's what he did do. He did green or I did green. I can't remember who did this anymore. Change it to green. And for capacity, this is right now going off B45. So I want that to go off B57. That's times K29. Yeah, that's fine. Your capacity comes in a lot there, but that's not the one we want. It's alright. B45, B40, B57 again. These are all going to be B57. Yeah, having spreadsheets like this set up in this way, like, are incredibly helpful for keeping your design consistent and, like, auto doing math for you. I basically had to learn basic stuff like this to make the spreadsheet so useful, but it's really invaluable. So there you go, you can see the one we're using is going to end up being about 100. Because he's got different modifiers and everything, and these are the high regens, but they lose some capacity for that. So that means B46 is going to be B58, right? B58. Big old regenerate. It's about time the very heavy fighters got some love, because these things should be scary. This should be like when you're playing Battletech and an assault mech shows up. Like, yeah, it's slower, yeah, you can punk it by jump jetting behind it and initiative cheesing it, but used right, it should be scary. You should be like, that is a lot of firepower and shield if I get caught by that with these things. These should be giants on the fighter field to justify that lack of agility. Plus, also, I want to justify flying around a ship that has 2 missile ports. I want to make some fighter bombers. I don't know if it'll even make sense to have dedicated bomber ships. Probably the very heavy fighters will just be used as bombers, I think, with their slots. We'll see. We could always do like a dedicated bomber slot, but it seems like VHS will just become like really good bombers for that reason. Bomber loadouts rather than bomber ships, if that makes sense. Rebuild time. This is going to be B47, will become B59. You can see if you get the low downtime ones, you're cutting that downtime in half down to 10 seconds rebuild, which is pretty cool. I think it's exciting anyway. But on the Brigandines, we're actually going up. What is that? Rebuild mod. It's actually pretty low on that one because it's the advanced version. On the version we're using, it'll be 21 seconds. Okay, maybe I'll do it all while I'm here. Don't be lazy. So we'll put in 60. For the part HP. I only have to do this once, then it's auto-updated, that's the whole point. Explosion resistance, we're not fucking with. And constant power draw is the last thing. And that is B61. Now this isn't changing anything in game, of course. It's not that advanced. It's just a spreadsheet where we're just referencing this. So our next job is to actually implement this. Now that we can see what we want. So with the Brigandine VHF, let's find it. That is going to be in... Where the what file is that in? That must be in MISC Equip, I reckon. What is the name for these? We'll find out quickly. Do we have an ID for these? Yes. So the shield I want is Beagle Shield 02 Mark 02 VHF. Okay, let's take this back. I'm going to search. It's not in MISC Equip, so let's try and find out where this is. I'm going to guess it's in Freelancer Escalation, Data Equipment, ST Equip next. Yes, here we go. I'm going to add one of my helpful little comments again, I think. What was this called, for real? Oh, hello stream. Brigandine VHF Shield is what it's called. Brigandine VHF Shield. Now we're going to input those numbers. Hit points. Okay. Good old Excel shenanigans. Yeah, I mean, they're really fucking useful. So, pod HP, we want to be 2300. Into the Breach has such a good soundtrack, man. Regeneration rate. What did we want that to be? See how helpful this is? Regeneration rate, 780. Where the fuck was it? Here it is. Max capacity, that is going up to 10200. What else? Regenerate's gonna be in here somewhere. Here's rebuild time. Rebuild time, that is going to be 21. Constant power draw, 775. Rebuild power draw, 116, 2.25. And that might be everything, I think. That is, capacity. We did regen, right? Yeah, we did regen. Capacity regen. Rebuild time. Part HP. Constant power draw. The only thing I didn't do is explosive resist. I'm not fucking with that right now. I don't think it matters. I think we're just keeping it low. I think if you have it at 0, it doesn't get blown up. So I'm just doing that right now. Alright, we should be ready to load back up and try this motherfucker out. Ooh, let me minimize. You guys can't see. PG says, hey, I got my first assault mech with this Rambeagle. What did you get? What did you get? What did you get? What you get, man? Let's see if the stats updated. Either an awesome or 8V or 8Q. Cool! Awesome is a really reliable assault. Really good. That worked but didn't. Everything's gone up. Except the shield capacity is still lower than I intended. However, I think that's because there's some hidden stuff going on. I think there's like a hidden value of the shield or something, if I remember correctly, that you can't see. Because I definitely put that in as being higher than 87678. I put it in as 1020. Is that 15% of 1020? 10222 times 0.15 is 1530. Minus 1530 is 8670. Yeah. Okay. So 15% of the capacity is not shown on the stats window. Why? I can't remember why. I think it exists for some reason though, I gotta figure it out. Just a little weird quirk of this game. We have the capacity listed correctly for the Brigandine. Maybe I just need to add more to the number then. If we go to the notepad, I remember that, I just can't remember why this happens. But if we go to the notepad, there was a 0.15 value in here I saw. Wasn't there? Yeah, offline threshold. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? I'm gonna compare to one of the other shields. I'm gonna compare to the one we were just using, the Brigandine, Brigandine HF. You know, if you use the Q or V, I don't know the differences between them, PG. What are the hardpoint differences between them? Let's go to the Brigandine HF shield. I'm gonna check the shield out. So I'm gonna comment here. This is the Brigandine HF shield. Max capacity here is written in as 6,000, but on the sheet is 5,100. I'm guessing that 15% of 6,000 is 900. So, I guess what we're doing is we're adding extra 15% to the capacity to deal with it. Interesting. So I just need to up my number even higher. That's a bit annoying. Okay, take me back to Brigandine VHF. So if I want it to actually be 10200 on paper, how do I calculate that? We should have a calculator for that in here, really. We should have a true capacity thing in here that calculates for that. Oh, it kind of does. It's because it's doing 0.85. Wait, what? Right, because that's meant to be 6,000, it goes to 5,100.
Everything by the numbers.
So people's playing Eve? Closer than you think, yeah. Modding Freelancer. I guess this is right, then? Oh, I see what I did wrong. I see what I did wrong. I see what I did wrong. I should be putting in this number instead, I guess. I should be putting in 12,000. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't showing you the Google sheet there. So what I should put in here is 12. 12,000. This should give me the results I want. Yes. Thank you for the sub. 17 months, 6 years, Hopeless Streamer, right? If I do math correctly. It's a long time. Thank you, Hopeless Streamer, very much for the 6 years of subbing. Yeah, I'm not playing Eve, I'm playing Freelancer, but I'm modding Freelancer, so there's a lot of spreadsheets going on. PG says Q is max 7 energy, UF 5 is 502 missile. I always like the energy awesome, so I think I always went for the 7 hardpoint. Okay, so now we've got the capacity we expected, that's good. Okay, now the only other thing we really need to do is let me buy another heavy AC here, and I think we're good to test this bad puppy out. So that's what we're going to do next. Is we're just going to go to this base, and we're going to add the autocannons for sale, okay? So this is market ships. What we want to do is go to market equipment. Market misc.ini. We bring up market misc.ini. We go to LI03, Liberty, base 1, that's Denver. And we just have to add the AC10s. I can copy paste some stuff here real easy. I can just copy the AC5 entries and go AC10. Speaking of Battletech. And I should really do that again for AC20s if I want to buy AC20s from here too, which maybe I do. Maybe you want to test them out. Everything else should be fine. This is where I can very easily add those Winchesters to if I want, which I probably will do just because it's what I've been using to test. So it's the easiest way for now. Oh, I've got ammo here already, never mind. AC10 ammo, AC20 ammo. Okay, get rid of the ammos then. Those are already put in. So I'll probably add the Winchesters here too. So I just need to look up on my googly spreadsheet what their weapon ID is in, and just quickly add them to sale here. Winchesters, these are bounty hunter guns, and they're called Beagle Goddamn Bounty Hunter Gun 03. So I should be able to just go... Just copy one of these lines and replace civilian gun with that, and that should work. Now, if I load all of this up, I think we're ready to do our eagle testing with our new improved shield strength and see how we feel about it.